This is the first time either mommy or myself,
doing a live.
Doing a live, right? So, well, I'd like to welcome back everyone to the Read2Me TT Bedtime series. I know that the past few weeks would have had us inside, but I want to remind you that we are all being heroes in our own way by staying inside, staying safe, and flattening the curve. We hope that you are excited and ready for a fun bedtime series before you go to sleep. I am Auntie Liseli, and I'm a professor at Wellesley College, all the way in Massachusetts, a university all the way in the United States. So I want you to listen, because I'm going to use two big words. I am a doctor in African cosmology and African ontology. Essentially, what that means is that I teach African history, African culture, and way of life, and all the contributions that African peoples would have made throughout the world, especially in Trinidad and the Caribbean. Right? A little bit about myself. I love love. I love life. I love inspiring people. I love my plants. I love music. And I love you. Right? Mom and I are so very delighted to be here to read for you tonight. So, Mom, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm an economist, which is another big word that you will hear tonight. But what that simply means is that I help others plan for the economy, in our case, the government, where we look at all the money that a country can make and what it can spend for our people and what it can save to make more money by investing. But you too can be little economists. Why? Because when you get your pocket change, you don't spend
all your money. You save some, right?
Because if you don't do that, you might find yourself going to the bank and borrow money. Now, some of you I know have mummies and daddies that work in banks, so people.
Priya said a little louder.
Okay, so that do you want me to do it over Priya or you heard? Is it okay?
Are you hearing now? Okay, good. So go ahead, Mom.
Okay, so what I'm simply saying is that although it sounds like a very big word, it's all a simple process of looking at all the monies that come into the country, looking at all what we spend for the country, saving some to invest to make more money, and you can be little economist, because when you get your pocket change, you have to know what you're saving, what you're spending, and what you're going to do with the rest. Now, if you don't have enough, you'll find yourself having to borrow.
And when you borrow, you have to pay back.
Right. And I'm also, like Auntie Liseli, a lecturer at the University of Trinidad and Tobago for grown-ups. But you might want to know, well, why I'm here is because I love children. I love to see them grow up to be nice, big people, and because I think you are the future.
So, Mommy, what are we reading for them tonight?
VIBERT and the Puppies by Paulkeensdouglas, a very popular storyteller in Trinidad. Now, you might remember that he did Tanti Moore by the Oval, and that was hilarious. But Paul Keens also writes serious stories. Tonight is going to be a story that's not too serious, but at the same time, there's a moral at the end of the story, and you have to tell us what is that moral.
What is the lesson, right? But before we start, one thing that I want you all to do, use your imagination, because we don't have pictures, okay? All right.
Okay, over to you, Liseli.
One day, VIBERT and his friend, the Harrison boy, who everybody called the Harrison boy, but whose real name was George Harrison, were going for a walk.
Now, VIBERT had asked his mother if he could go over by George to play.
She said, all right.
But warned VIBERT not to get into any mischief, because she knew once he and the Harrison boy got together, things had a habit of happening.
Well, boy, VIBERT promised faithfully that all they would do is play with the video game that George Big Brother had brought for him from America.
So Vibert went over to the Harrison boy house to play. Well, they played with the new game for about an hour.
It was a space game, and they had a lot of fun pressing the button, shooting down the enemy spaceships that were trying to invade the Earth.
Just like the coronavirus. But after a while, they began to get bored with being indoors, so they decided to go out into the yard. Well, it was only a matter of time before they found that the yard too was very boring. They didn't like that at all. That's when Vibert had a bright idea.
He suddenly remembered that Mr. Martin's dog, Kanga, had given birth to some pups the day before. So he said to the Harrison boy, I have a great idea. Let's go and visit Mr. Martin and see the new pups. He told me I could come over anytime.
Harrison boy thought for a moment, then said, You sure it could be okay with your mother? Remember what happened the last time when we went and we see Miss Preston body in the funeral parlor without telling she give you relics.
Man, Vibert laughed. He laughed at the top of his voice. Nah, man, don't worry. She won't even know. We go have time reach by Mr. Martin and come back before you could even say Mary had a little lamb. So the two of them climbed over the fence. They ducked down between the houses so nobody could see them from Vibert's mother's house and made straight for Mr. Martin's backyard. When they reached Mr. Martin's backyard, they opened the gate and went inside. It was very quiet. No one was in sight. Vibert called out,
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Martin, oi, it's me, Vibert.
There was no answer. Apparently, Mr. Martin had gone out. The Harrison boy looked at Vibert and said,
Listen, like nobody home. We can't go inside if nobody there. Mr. Martin not going to like it.
Vibert scoffed at him and said, Nah, man, we could go in. Mr. Martin not go mind. Me and his personal friend, we used to pitch marble together.
And with that, he marched up to the house as if he owned the place, opened the back door and gone inside. Well, the back door was not locked. Vibert and the Harrison boys stood for a moment inside the door. Then they heard some squealing songs coming from the kitchen. It was the puppies. They ran over to the kitchen and looked inside. There on the floor, beneath the sink, was 6 beautiful little puppies lying on an old sugar bag. They looked like wobbly balls of fur.
Vibert and the Harrison boy was quite excited. They rushed over to the sink and began to fuss with the puppies, laughing and talking at the top of their voices. They picked them up one by one and started to examine them and play with them and laugh and carry on and have a good time.
Now, everybody knows that you are not supposed to interfere with newborn puppies, especially if their mother is not around. Suddenly, there was a snap from the window. It was Kanga, and she was angry. She wants to know who was interfering with her pups. Vibert and the Harrison boy were terrified at the angry face in the window. With a shout of fear, they dropped the puppies they were holding and ran for their lives through the kitchen and out the back door. With one leap and a snag, Kanga was through the window and after them.
They ran screaming at the top of their voices, with Kanga snapping at their heels and getting ready to put a bite on the Harrison boy, who was lagging behind Vibert. As Kanga opened her drawers to put a bite on Harrison boy, fat little behind, a voice shouted out,
Kanga!
It was Mr. Martin. Kanga came to a screeching halt.
And Vibert and the Harrison boy flew through the gate, almost trampling Mr. Martin. Kanga stood in the yard and barked for a while. and forgot all about them and went back inside to see about her puppies.
Well, boy, Vibert and the Harrison boy, who in the meantime was hanging onto the fence, holding their bellies and gasping for breath. They looked as if they had just run a whole marathon.
Mr. Martin gave them time to catch their breath. Then he said, "Now perhaps you can tell me what all of that was about."
Vibert explained, the Harrison boy explained, each one adding a little more to the story. At last, Mr. Martin said,
"It was nice of you to want to come and visit the puppies, but you were wrong to enter the house when you knew no one was at home. You could have been badly bitten, but a dog gets badly cross when people interfere with their newborn pups. Even I have to be careful of Kanga and the pups. Let that be a lesson to you. Now run along and don't let it happen again. You won't tell your mothers this time, but if there is a next time, you'd get something worse than a bite from Kanga."
Vibert and the Harrison boy thanked him profusely and promised never, never, never to do such a thing like that again. Never again, they said.
Then before you could say Kanga, they were off down the road for the safety of their own backyards. They were only about 20 yards from Mr. Martin's house when Vibert looked at the Harrison boy and said,
"You know something, man? I bet you I could run faster than Kanga. Kanga could have never catch me." Crick crack.
"Crick crack. Now,
Now your time now. What is the moral of the story? What is the moral of the story?" Chrissy said to run. Thank you. All right, well, in these COVID times, the moral of the story is to be obedient and follow instructions.
Stay inside, stay at home, be safe.
Wash your hands.
Now, how many times you have to wash your hands? For how long? 20 seconds, and you can even play a game,
right?
And they say you can sing happy birthday twice. Tell your friends, tell
your mommy, your auntie, your uncle,
your granny how to do it. You have to cough in your elbow, and you will be safe from the coronavirus.
Yeah, but before we wish you a good night, we want to remind you that tomorrow we'd have a new story with 2 new readers, right? So join us tomorrow again, same time, same place because you'll be in your house, right? Okay.
Hope you enjoyed the story.
We love you.
We love you.
Keep safe, and we look forward to more. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Be right.